In October 2021, a researcher sat across from a wolf in Vienna. He was there to run a cognitive test. Wolf locked eyes with her, didn't look away, didn't blink. 11 seconds. She said it was the most frightening moment of her career. Not because the wolf was aggressive, because she felt like she was the one being studied. She was right. 7 peer-reviewed studies, multiple continents. What science found didn't just change how we understand wolves. It changed how we understand intelligence itself. Dr. Zofia Viranyi's team ran a simple test. Point toward hidden food, follow the gesture. Dogs performed exactly as expected, relaxed, confident. The wolves did something that stopped the study cold. Instead of following the gesture, they looked directly into the researcher's eyes. 8 to 12 seconds of unbroken gaze, documented in published findings as gaze locking. Uncomfortable in a way that reached something deeper than professional discomfort. Sustained eye contact in wolf behavioral ecology is never incidental. It is gathering information, fear, confidence, hesitation, weakness. The micro expressions a face produces before conscious control suppresses them. The postural adjustments made before the mind registers stress. The chemical shift of elevated cortisol, detectable by a wolf's nose at concentrations laboratory instruments were, until recently, too insensitive to measure. A wolf meeting your gaze is not looking at you. It is calculating you. Most people imagine a wolf hunt as noise and chaos. Yellowstone 2019 was the exact opposite. A wildlife biologist tracking 7 wolves on an active elk hunt knew the full acoustic signature, contact vocalizations, the escalating sounds of encirclement, the burst of noise marking open chase. In the 60 seconds before the pack moved, the landscape went completely silent. Not quieter, silent. 7 wolves achieving final positioning across hundreds of meters of dense forest without producing a sound any monitoring system could detect. She heard the elk react before she registered any sign the wolves had moved. Neuroscientists analyzing pre-hunt simulations found something that fit no established model. The prefrontal cortex, central to deliberate planning in humans, activated specifically during these silent periods. Never documented in any canid species, never even looked for. The wolves were not acting on instinct, they were planning. In 2022, Uppsala University set out to confirm what the field believed. Wolf pack movement is primarily opportunistic. 9 wolves, 1,200 square kilometers, 2 years of GPS tracking. The data didn't confirm what the field believed. The movement patterns were almost architectural. Each wolf performed a distinct cognitive function. Some led navigation, others returned non-randomly to locations where prey had been available in previous seasons. Others tracked how prey behavior shifted across months. 9 brains dividing a load no single wolf could carry, functioning as one distributed intelligence. When one wolf was removed, hunting success dropped 34% within 3 weeks. Not because of lost dominance, because of lost knowledge no remaining member could reconstruct. When that brain went silent, the knowledge went with it. Wolf 926F's mate died in early 2018. She stopped eating, complete cessation for 11 days. She made more than a dozen return trips to the last location where he had been seen, howling alone for extended periods. Not a contact call. Sustained howling directed at a place with no ecological significance. Cortisol samples confirmed it at the hormonal level. Her body was registering his death as a physiological crisis. A 2023 review in Animal Cognition compiled 27 similar cases across 3 continents. The conclusion was unavoidable. Wolves experience a measurable grief response whose endocrine signature is nearly identical to that documented in humans. Grieving wolves destabilize. Territorial boundaries erode. Movement patterns that had been reliable predictors become unreliable. Behavioral structures fracture in ways researchers cannot anticipate. A grieving wolf pack is the most dangerous version of a wolf pack. Not because grief makes wolves more aggressive, because grief makes wolves unreadable. In 2020, Idaho wildlife managers removed 3 wolves from a pack with a documented history of livestock losses. Standard expectation: remove the responsible animals, the problem stops. Losses did not decline. Surviving members, wolves with no prior history of approaching livestock, began appearing near farm perimeters. Repeatedly, prey population stable, no ecological explanation. A 2022 paper in PLOS 1 found a pattern across multiple regions requiring formal reconsideration of decades-old practices. Packs that experienced lethal human intervention showed a 105% increase in livestock predation compared to undisturbed packs, more than double. The mechanism, sudden violent loss, weakens anthropophobia. The calibrated avoidance system, keeping wolves away from humans, refined across generations of selective pressure. In some cases, it collapsed entirely. Killing wolves to prevent livestock losses was generating significant significantly more livestock losses. The intervention was producing the exact outcome it was designed to prevent. In 2021, researchers at the Messerly Research Institute showed a wolf a lever sequence that dispensed food. The wolf observed a second time, a third, then paused. It sat still, appeared to everyone watching to be doing nothing, then walked to the lever and reproduced the sequence correctly. First attempt, no errors. Neural imaging revealed what happened during the pause. An internal simulation, the action sequence mentally rehearsed in the brain's motor planning architecture before the body received a single instruction to move. The same cognitive process central to human skill acquisition. The formal term is deferred imitation, previously documented with confidence in great apes, dolphins, and ravens, never in any canid species. The team removed the wolf for 72 hours. No access, no practice, no reinforcement. After 3 full days, it reproduced the sequence correctly. One observation, 72 hours. Perfect execution. Every wolf that has ever watched a human handle a gate, manage livestock, or move through shared terrain has filed that observation in a memory that does not degrade quickly. They are watching, storing, for far longer than anyone assumed possible. In December 2016, Rick McIntyre, who had logged more field hours in Yellowstone than almost any researcher alive, noticed a pack following a bison herd. Not hunting, following, at a consistent distance with a patience that matched nothing in any behavioral literature. The herd was visibly healthy. A trained observer would have found nothing to distinguish it from any other herd in the park. 22 days later, 3 bison died of respiratory illness. The wolves moved in within hours, faster than any scavenger arrival speed previously recorded in Yellowstone. They were already positioned. They had known where to be. A 2023 University of Alberta study explained how wolves detect chemical markers in the breath and urine of stressed immune systems, appearing days or weeks before any visible symptom. Their olfactory system, 100 times more sensitive than the humans, is calibrated to recognize the biochemical signature of an animal beginning to die. A dying animal does not look sick to a wolf first. It smells sick first. The most debated finding involved not prey. In 2 independent cases, researchers observed an identical pattern emerging around specific pack members. Before any visible symptom appeared, the pack changed. Increased proximity, more grooming, a measurable reduction in daily competitive aggression directed specifically toward the affected individuals. No visible reason. The wolves appeared in normal health. They developed symptoms weeks later. The pack had gathered closer, reduced friction around animals their noses had already identified as beginning to fail, behaved in ways that looked to researchers still uncomfortable putting it in print, like what humans do when someone we love is running out of time. As if they were sensing what was coming, making the most of what remained, as if they were saying goodbye. 7 instincts. Everyone documented. Everyone replicated across independent teams working without coordination. Science spent centuries reducing all of this to reflex. Animals without deliberation, without feeling, without an inner life. The data does not support that reduction. Which instinct disturbed you most? Leave it in the comments. And if you want to know what happens when a lone wolf has to build a pack from nothing, no memory grid, no established bonds, no one to say goodbye, that story is next.